I wanted to give you a little bit of financial planning advice for your RV life and your RV living budget, and how do you calculate that, because believe it or not, I get a lot of questions about this, and it's one of the biggest things that keep people from RVing, or it causes people to stop RVing, and that is their finances. What we're going to figure out by the end of this is, does your income cover your daily cost of living, your daily living costs, and for how long? That can tell you where you're at and where you're headed. So I'm walking you through that process. So be sure to subscribe to this video and hit the bell icon somewhere around this video so you're notified each and every time I publish a new video that goes with this series. And you can do this on the computer digitally, or you can do this on paper, or you can do this on paper and then put it in your computer. So if this was me, I would probably start with listing my expenses, my living expenses here, or just expenses. We'll say expenses. And then I would do my income expenses. So let's just think, like, what are some expenses? So for me, my RV payment is an expense. And what is this going to cost me? So I told you my RV payment is like $1,022, but we're just going to say $1,000 to keep the numbers even so it makes sense. And then I am paying my RV lot rent, but for you that might be just home rent or something else. It could be anything. So my RV lot rent is $400 a month. I have to pay my electric bill. So my RV electric bill runs me around $150 right now. Then like I have to pay my RV insurance. So right now that's running me about $95. You want to think about like food and entertainment and things like that. But I'm going to keep this really simple. So entertainment. Any other expenses that you have? Maybe you have health insurance. All of those things are going to add up. So you're going to have a total here for this column. Okay, so you're going to have a total here. And that is going to tell you what the cost is of your expenses. So you're going to want to add those up. And I'm just doing this really quick on here, but you get the gist of like what you're doing. I'm not teaching you how to use Excel spreadsheets, okay? I'm teaching you how to come up with numbers. So this is about $1,645 or $1,600 in expenses. Now, obviously I have more expenses than that, but that's the gist of it. Also, before I forget, make sure up here you put any kind of credit cards. You want to make sure you add any kind of loans or credit cards up in here. So if you have credit card, you're going to have like credit card number 1. Maybe you have a personal loan. Or maybe you have a car payment, you know. You got to think about that. So all those things are going to add up in here. But this is going to be your total expenses. And then we're doing the same thing down for your income. So how much do you have in checking? How much do you have in savings? How much do you have in your 401k? How much do you have in investments? These are all things that you want to think about whenever you're figuring out how much your income stream is going to be. So let's say you don't have a paycheck. Let me add all of these up. Or let me just simplify this real quick. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do total income. This is the same exact thing. We're just going to do a sum of our income streams. But let's just say that we have, I don't know, $5,000 in checking. And we have, let's say you have $10,000 in savings. But maybe you don't. Maybe you only have $1,000. This is all going to tell you what your total income is. So let's say you just have $6,000 in the bank and you have total expenses of $1,645. So you want to figure out, okay, well, how long can I live on that? My daily cost of living. So for here, this is a monthly kind of amount. So this is telling me monthly what I can survive on. That's why you want to break this down. So if we have this monthly cost right here, you have the monthly cost. The other thing I like to do is figure out for 6 months and then 1 year, and then your daily cost. So I call it your daily cost of living, but is your daily cost. So we already know our monthly. So what we can do is just take the monthly amount here. And then what I do is I take the monthly amount and I multiply it by 6. So I times it by 6. And that's going to give me my 6 month amount. And then you could either do 6 months times 2 or 12 times monthly. So what I do is I do monthly times 12. And these are just estimates, but right now, just on some of this information, I'm saying, okay, well, I need at least $1,645 a month, or $9,870 for 6 months, or $19,740 for a year. But the daily cost of living is going to be, you can do this different ways, but I'm just going to take 1 year and I'm going to divide it by 365. That tells me that my daily cost of living, not my monthly, but my daily cost of living is going to be $54.80. So every single day, you can literally go on your calendar and say, did I make $54.08, not 80, $54.08. I don't know what I said, but that's what you need to make. So the next thing that I would do is I would say, okay, well, how long can this last me? So what you want to look at is, okay, for $6,000, how long can you survive? So you know right now that you need 6 months worth of income. So it's actually going to put you in the whole negative. So if you said plus 6,000 minus 9,000, that's you're negative $3,870 in your 6 month total. You know that you can't make it 6 months. You can only make it a little bit longer. So honestly, what you could do is say plus 6,000 and divide it monthly, and that'll tell you how many months you can. Yeah, 6,000 divided by your monthly amount. That would tell you could last 3.65 months on your income to cover that daily living cost. And that's if it doesn't move. But what I want you to understand is it's not, you don't have to look out 5 years, 10 years, these huge amounts. You need to say, okay, how can I make it at least 3 months? Okay, great. Set aside that money, make it 3 months. So now you know how to list your income, list your expenses, come up with your daily cost of living, and this gives you a snapshot so that you can start making money moves. Now, I will tell you, with my students, my spreadsheet is way more in depth than this. But this gives you kind of like an idea of how to come up with these numbers. So the next thing that you want to do is just look through here and say, like, okay, what could I eliminate? Could I pay down on this credit card? Because, you know, paying on a credit card, you're paying in interest. So if you pay down on the credit card, then you essentially won't be paying as much for the credit card over time. Or can I reduce my electric bill? Can I maybe get a different lot? Can I save on my lot rent somehow? Can I refinance my RV? Can I sell my RV? It just depends on what your expenses are. If you had Netflix or Hulu or things like that, can you cut those things out? Is there anything that you can sell in your daily life? Do you have some items that you need to get rid of and downsize and minimize that are maybe worth a little bit of money that you could sell? So all those things are kind of helping you figure out what can you take away and what can you add, and vice versa. So I always try to think of anything I can sell to make space, move me closer to freedom or mobility. Again, the first thing that you want to do when it comes to your budget basics is figure out what's your income streams. The second thing you want to do is figure out what's your expenses. The third thing you want to do is figure out your daily living costs, like how much is it going to cost me? And then you want to figure out, okay, what can I eliminate from those expenses? And then how can I increase my income? I've shown you how to go through your expenses, how to go through your income, how to come up with your daily living cost. And honestly, this is really what I do. And like I said, this is the basics. So there's a lot more involved, but this is kind of like the basics of financial planning, how you come up with a budget, how you figure out whether you can afford to live for RV life or even just your normal life. If that makes sense, hit the like button below. If you want to expand on this a little bit more, definitely book a call with me. I'll put a link to my calendar below this video so you can book a call with me and we can dive into this spreadsheet and what you've come up with for your daily living costs, your expenses, and your income. I'm Logan Brady from RVersity, University for RVers. Check out the description below for all the links to everything that I talked about. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified each and every time that I publish a new video. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye guys. Love you.